Yeah, dude. It's October. Halloween's right around the corner. So that means we need costumes and we need to get creative. And I'm here to help you do that. My name is Rose. Welcome to Flu Powder TV. Let's get into the video. So the first dress that we're going to be doing is the Wednesday Addams costume. This is the reference photo we're going to be using for the Wednesday Addams costume. It's going to be her school uniform. Every time I log in, dude, it's fucking raining. I can't have anything nice. This is the room that I did for the Enchanted Sweepstakes submission. So if you haven't seen that, it is up on social media on pretty much everywhere, but it's on the community tab if you haven't checked it out. You know the drill. Go ahead and click wardrobe, go to customize. We're going to add new. We're going to be making this style of dress. It's not exactly, but you know, it gets you there. We're not completely done with it, but we're going to make this. So you're going to click on add new. We're going to go to the basic t-shirt dress, click create, make the base color down here all the way black. First thing we're going to do is add white triangles to the collar to give it that school uniform feel. Click on the box and hit the double, which just duplicates it. And that's how we get that look down here. Next thing we're going to do is add some rectangles. I'm going to rotate it so it's vertical to the best of my ability. We're going to change the color and make it dark gray. And then we're going to click on the box again and click the multiple dots. So what that does is just create this sort of effect on it. So the next thing you're going to do after you add the stripes is, I know you can't see it because of my camera, but you're going to double click on the dark rectangle until you can see the mouse hovering over it, like hold it. You gotta hold it. You're going to move it on top of the first triangle, right? And so that puts it beneath that layer. We're going to repeat the process. Add another rectangle, but this time we're going to change the color to light gray. Make sure it's vertical. Click on the square, click on multiply, and we're just going to move it ever so slightly. So it's in between the two dark gray rectangles. We're also going to move this beneath the first layer of the triangle. So it should look like this. Now the next thing we're going to do is add a tie, and it is completely optional. But if you want to, you're going to go ahead and click add. We're going to go to shapes, add a triangle, but make that black. Make it its smallest size. Make sure that the pointy side is on the bottom end and make it small and add it onto the collar right on top of it, like so. You're going to take that layer and put it underneath the first layer of the triangle so that the white triangles are overlapping. You can make it bigger if you want. So the next thing we're going to do, go back to shapes. You're going to click on this oval right here. Make sure that that is also black. Make it its smallest size and make sure that it's vertical and just place it on top of the triangle. You can adjust the size as much as you need depending on what you're trying to go for. It's looking like I'm going to have to adjust the size of the triangle. So I could either bring it down and then you see like that's a really good size for a tie. You can also make that smaller. I personally like it how I had it. And there we have a black tie for the dress. Now it's not incredibly visible, so you can change the color and play with it if you want. This doesn't have to be exactly like this. You can adjust it how you want, make it your own. This is just a general guide for a very simple beginner friendly type of costume. The next thing you're going to want to do to complete the outfit is click on socks. We're going to add these black socks. And then we're going to go to shoes, these black dress shoes or the Dream Snap loafers. I'm sure we have these. These look amazing. So this is your Wednesday Addams finished look. It looks good. I think it's a very basic costume, but it's beginner friendly, so try and keep that in mind. So the next dress we're going to work on is the Winifred Sanderson dress. You might have seen it on some of my socials, but I thought everyone should be able to have access to it if they didn't know how to make it. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that. Alright, so the next dress is going to be the Winifred Sanderson dress. You see I already have the hair ready and the makeup ready. The photo that we're using for reference is going to be their poster for the second movie. You get a closer look at the detail in the bust area, and that's what we want to focus on. So same process, go to wardrobe, click customize, go ahead and go to add new. So just for reference, this is the dress we're going to be making. I'm going to try and get it as close as possible to this. It's not a difficult dress, but there are some things that you're going to want to pay attention to. Go to wardrobe, click customize, hit add new, and we're going to want the basic long sleeve gown for this one. Go ahead and click create. Now, Here comes the hard part. What we're gonna do is color this dress green, dark green, but it's not gonna stop there. We're going to cover the entire dress in a green square, and the reason we're doing that is because there are things that we need to layer, and they're gonna show on the base gown if we don't do this correctly. So go ahead and click. The first layer is gonna be a square. Make sure it's the darkest green, and we're going to just make sure the entire dress is covered completely with this square. So what I like to do is just put it on the side, click duplicate, and then make sure that it adds in the center, or make sure that it touches in the center. I'm going to do the same thing on the back. It helps to make them the biggest size, and don't worry about anything overlapping. We're going to take care of that. For the back, just because it looks like a triangle, I'm just going to make it a triangle, lift it up, and then duplicate it. For the arms, for whatever reason, I do like to use the circles. And then for the front, I'm going to use a triangle just to cover that up. Okay, so the entire dress is covered in the green squares. I know you see these imperfections. We're going to cover them up. Don't worry about it. The first thing we want to do is add a triangle. Make sure that it's purple. If you use any of these other shades of purple, it's not going to look right. So make sure it's the darkest shade of purple. All right, make sure that the purple triangle comes up from the center of the dress, like so. If you take a look at the center of her dress, she has like gold lacing. And the way that we do that is you're going to click add, and the flourish is going to be in the section for magical, and you're going to click on the wand. Now make sure to get this gold, you're going to click down here on this tan color, and that looks like it's gold. So the way we do this is I kind of play around with the size, and I use the very end of the wand. Okay, so it has to be slanted like so, because we're going to layer this. And just keep adding the layers. You can click on the box and click the arrow here, and it'll rotate it the other way if you didn't know that that's what that does. So just make sure it's centered in the middle. It's a little tricky. You got to play around with it. Don't worry about the stars on the side. We're going to cover that up. That's why I had you add those layers. It's to hide all of the imperfections. All right, we're just keep repeating that until you get a nice pattern. And be careful with the stars. You don't want that to show on the purple. All right, so it should look something like this. Now there's going to be one more, and it's going to be the biggest one, and it's going to just be a horizontal layer close to the top of the collar, but it's not going to be directly touching. It should just be right above the last two crisscross layers of the wand. So what we're going to do to hide the wands on the side here like this, go ahead and go to shapes and add a triangle and line it up with the purple triangle so that it can cover up. You can make it as big as you need to, but it does need to hide the stars. And so I duplicate it to make it easier. And since there's still stuff showing on the arms, I'm going to just add another layer, like a circle, whatever you feel like adding. So then the center should look like this. Right, so it looks a lot like her dress. Now, the next step is to go back and add a purple triangle. The darkest shade, you're going to put this on the center of the dress. I like to make this a little bigger, so I'm going to move the triangle closer to the midsection, and then add another triangle that will reach the bottom, and then we'll just make sure that the rest of it is covered. So it might be slanted a little bit on the side, but that's okay. I'm going to duplicate this so that it reaches the other side. So it should look like this. The next step is to put on the flourishes. Go ahead and go, actually it's going to be in symbols, my bad. You're going to go to symbols, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you should see this symbol right here. You should see this symbol, right? It looks kind of like regal. You're going to make that gold by clicking on the tan again, and you're going to make it its smallest size. Once you do, you're going to click on the circle that looks like a world again, and that will make it even smaller. Now this is going to be a little tricky. We have limited layers, and we need it to follow the triangle all the way down to the bottom of the dress, and I like to get it as close as possible. If you duplicate it, it looks a little off, but it will still work if you're careful, but you can move them separately, so we can do that. We're going to complete this step until it reaches the bottom. So symbols, scroll all the way down, click on this icon, make it its smallest size, click the world to make it even smaller. And you don't want to leave too big of a gap. Just kind of eyeball it and see what looks good. This is your dress. It's going to be your design, so you can make it however you like. I personally just don't think that there should be too big of a gap because it'll look a little silly. All right, just keep going. Just keep doing that. all the way until you reach the bottom. Like I said, this is tedious, but if you want to like get this done faster, what you can do is just duplicate it and not mess with the other side if you're comfortable with how it looks. I like symmetry, so I want to get it a certain way. It looks like it starts kind of behaving once you get toward the bottom, like when it comes to the spacing of the icon. So that's a good thing. Another thing you can do, like to save on time, is just you can increase the amount of space in between the icons just to like have less. It won't look as close to the actual design, but it is technically an adaptation. It's not supposed to be exact, but like I said, this is your design. You can make it however you want. I think I'm gonna add one more because I know we have 47 layers, so I still have room. I didn't do this last time. Last time I added a little bit more than I was supposed to, I believe. So the last one just touches the bottom of the dress ever so slightly. The top part is looking a little bare. So what I did is went to floral. I grabbed this rose and I turned it purple, and then I sort of just had it adorn the side. I rotated it so it would look like this and then duplicate it, right? So like the side arm just has a little bit more flair to it. I want to add another icon directly under the bust, just for funsies, right here in the center. And in the back, what I want to do is add sort of like, because it's a costume, so I'm going to add a triangle, make that purple. And we're going to click on the world icon again, rotate it so it's directly in the center, and just kind of make it look so it's like a zip up, right? So like you can tell it's a costume. That you don't have to do this is just my personal preference. I just realized that the dress we just made is different than the original, and I like this one better. And this happens every time I recreate a dress. I'm not entirely sure why. All right, so this is your Winifred Sanderson costume. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope this is easy for you to make. And if you have any questions, or if you have something that you don't understand how I did, I can elaborate for you. Just comment down below and let me know. So I hope you make it, and I hope you enjoy it. Happy Halloween.